Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51%, a show about women reshaping our world, coming up. With the Taliban banning girls from secondary schools and universities, we meet the Afghan families who've risked everything by fleeing to neighbouring Pakistan to ensure their daughters get an education. We also head to the Kenyan village, which bans men as it offers a refuge to women and girls facing the risks of female genital mutilations, domestic abuse or child marriage. And bucking sexism, the sport of bull riding, once reserved for just men in Nicaragua, is undergoing a major change as women riders are now taking part in rodeos. But first, and the UN estimates that some 3 million girls have been banned from high school since the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan back in August 2021. The regime also blocking women from attending university as well as from working in many jobs. In desperation, tens of thousands of Afghan families have fled to neighbouring Pakistan to ensure their daughters receive an education. It's far from an ideal destination since Pakistan does not offer much in terms of work prospects for Afghan refugees. Our team on the ground sent us this report.
Dozens of Afghan children enrolled in the school after their families found refuge in Pakistan. Zeba Hussain is the founder of this charity-run school that educates children coming from the most deprived and marginalized communities. She takes pride in opening her doors to Afghan students, especially girls. These three sisters found refuge in Pakistan along with their parents and are undocumented.
तो आप इधर क्यों आए?
उधर लड़ाई है, तालिबान है, वो लड़कियों को स्कूल नहीं छोड़ देते कि स्कूल जाते हैं हम।
घर से बाहर निकले उसको मारते हैं, उसका सर मारते हैं, उसको बेइज्जती करते हैं, बेइज्जती करते हैं।
वो भाई रहती है, इसको कंचीन मारती है। उधर हम लोग सब लड़के, हमारा भाई भी नहीं है उस वजह से।
मुश्किल था?
बहुत मुश्किल से।
डर लगता था?
उसको पसंद है, लड़की को नहीं बोलते तो मेरा से शादी करोगे, तो उसके साथ शादी करोगे। वो इतना बड़ा है ना, जबरदस्ती से उसके साथ शादी करोगे।
उस लड़की को?
उसको मतलब मरबान कराता है।
اما گی وطنشان آرام است مزمان نیست.
Our country is the only one like that. I feel bad. We came here and we see that everyone has the right to education, has the right to go to school, but our country is destroyed and the schools are closed.
More than 1.5 million undocumented Afghan refugees live in Pakistan. They cannot access free public education. Zeba's school is one of the few options they have.
Our school is open to anyone who wants to study. I don't care about race, religion, about the status, about anything. So it's really a humanitarian school because right now they need education, they need guidance, they need socialization. They should be able to be happy. They don't want to be isolated.
Like most of the children here, Natasha and her sisters live in sheer poverty. Since they have been in exile, they have to work to support their families.
يكوني موجود وبيبر ما تمس بس نفنو انتقال ميتماره.
شکر بخوانی کوشش کنی درسایتان بخوانی. افغانستان حالاتش خوب نیست. اینجا ما مسافر هستیم حالات ما خوب نیست. انا بکشی بری بکسایتان بانی بری بلا کارتان.
ها بس.
Every afternoon, the sisters spend several hours in front of a Sufi shrine. They sell rose petals to pilgrims, earning just a few hundred rupees per day. Pakistan's conservative society frowns upon the public presence of unsupervised teenage girls. The men here don't respect them.
I feel really bad here. People don't look at me like I'm just a regular girl, but like something else. The men here also bully me and make humiliating comments and put us down. They say Afghan girls are like this, Afghan girls are like that. It makes me want to end my life.
Many Afghan refugees have settled in the south of Islamabad, where it's cheaper to live. Some have even created private learning centers like this one. Girls and boys from middle and high school learn together, something unimaginable under the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. The students in this class are learning English, hoping to one day get a visa for Europe or North America.
Pari, what's your favorite country in the world?
My favorite country is Canada because the country is very beautiful.
Would you like to visit Canada one day?
Yes.
Okay, very good. It actually makes me very happy when I see my Afghans, students, they are attending in this center, in this institute, and they are coming to learn something. I just always remind them, right now in Afghanistan, girls are banned from the education, and they are hungry for this kind of opportunity, but you guys already have this kind of opportunity. Try to use this.
I feel so happy to study, to be sitting here with my classmates. I'm so happy that we came here and that I can continue my studies.
Parichar was able to resume her studies. It was for her that her mother, a cleaning lady, took the difficult decision of moving to Pakistan despite the financial difficulties.
I thought Kabul was no longer a good place for us. What if my children end up illiterate like their father or me? We had to immigrate somewhere where they could study and where their future would be better. It's a heavy burden, but people can do anything for their children.
Integration for Afghan refugees in Pakistan is a huge challenge. Only a few manage to get refugee status and access skilled jobs.
Now, what happens if you're a girl or a woman facing the risks of female genital mutilation, domestic abuse or child marriage? Well, if you're living in Kenya's northeastern Samburu region, you can head to the village of Umoja, whose sole purpose is to provide women and girls with a refuge from gender-based violence.
A moment of joy that belies these women's traumatic pasts. Umoja in the northwestern Samburu region of Kenya looks like a typical Maasai village, except for a crucial detail. There are no men. Only women and their children are allowed to live here, in a community that seeks to provide a safe haven for victims of gender-based violence.
No one has to have an unplanned baby. These girls need to be educated and choose their own partners. Not like the old days when their fathers married them off to old rich men. Women should choose who they love.
The village was founded some 30 years ago when around a dozen women were cast out by their husbands for saying they'd been raped by British soldiers. Hundreds of others allege similar abuse, though UK authorities cleared the troops of wrongdoing. As word of the village spread, other women fled to Umoja to escape forced marriages and violence. Over 40% of Kenyan women will suffer sexual or domestic abuse at some point in her lifetime.
I'm very proud to live in this village because no one is stressing me out and my husband can't hurt me here.
The women make jewellery that they sell to tourists, making enough money to support themselves and send their children to school. Residents also visit surrounding villages to warn other women about the dangers of early marriage and genital mutilation, both commonplace in rural Kenya. In Samburu culture, women are considered subordinate to men, but the residents of Umoja are on a mission to change that.
And finally, rodeos in Nicaragua are massively popular with the crowds, but the spectacle of watching men attempting to ride bulls is slowly changing, with more women now joining the sport. However, not only are they wrestling to stay on the bull, but they're also fighting resistance from fellow male riders.
Her helmet fastened, Evelyn Perez prepares to enter the arena. One hand on the rope, the other for balance. The goal is to stay on the bull for at least 8 seconds. Hundreds of spectators have come to watch the show at a festival in Tipatapa. It's not often that they see a woman taking part in the sport.
I've wanted to ride since I was a child, since I was 12 or 15 years old. My brother used to ride, and I told him that I wanted to as well, and he said no, it's for men. But I think that if men can do it, We can do it too.
When she's not riding, the 33-year-old is a cook and a mother to 2 children. She earns $200 every time she mounts a bull. But it's one of the world's most dangerous sports and she regularly suffers injuries. A prayer before entering the arena is part of her routine. And as much as Nicaraguans were sceptical about women getting involved in rodeo, the other riders have accepted her as one of their own.
I'm not the only female rider. There are several of us. For instance, on the 30th of December, I was in a competition in Palmares, Costa Rica, and there were 8 other women.
Perez is aware of the physical disadvantage when it comes to hanging onto an animal weighing hundreds of kilos. But she hopes more women will break the stereotype by entering the arena of bull riding.
And that's all for this edition. We'd love to hear your suggestions for the 51%, so don't hesitate to get in touch either via Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. And you can catch our previous programs on our website. So until our next show, bye for now.